This video contains wisdom that takes many people years to learn. It's in one video. I've decided to create this video so that you have everything in one place and you can share it with your sisters, your brothers, your daughters and sons, anyone you care about, so that they also learn and it doesn't take them long to realize these things. I'm putting it in one video so that you can learn and keep it with you everywhere you go. Before we begin, please drop a heart in the comments. That way the algorithm knows this is a video to push to more people and we can all learn together. I'm going to be speaking from my heart and mind. There's no script, nothing is planned, whatever comes to mind. Grab a notebook, popcorn, water. For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be dropping gems, wisdom that you want to keep with you every single day. Create a playlist, listen to this video every day, remind yourself the things in this video. So the first thing I want to talk about, if you watch all my content, you're going to realize this is the theme. The theme is your peace and your safety are the most important things in your life, and you need to take charge of them. You need to be in the forefront of making decisions that keep you safe and that cultivate peace in your environment. You should never be putting your safety in other people's hands because people will always choose their convenience. If their convenience and your safety is in opposite directions, they're going to choose their convenience. Even the person you trust could betray you if they have to make that decision. You need to understand that putting your safety in other people's hands is subconsciously infantilizing yourself. Once you're grown up, you need to put your safety in your hands. And if there's anything in you that makes you believe that you don't deserve peace and safety, you need to deal with it. You need to see it as an enemy, and you need to slay that enemy. You do deserve peace. You do deserve safety. The world, especially predators, is banking on you thinking you don't deserve safety. This is why you can get a negative feeling about someone and stick around. Because at your core, you don't believe that you deserve safety. You don't really believe that. You want it, but you don't believe it. So when you get signs that someone is dangerous, that someone could harm you, you don't move quickly. You really need to understand this, that your peace and your safety should be your top priorities. Because if you don't have these two things, you're living a life full of misery and danger and victimization. When you believe you don't deserve peace and safety, you tolerate people that disturb your peace and that make you unsafe. So when people say, oh, you attract what you are, you attract what you are, what they are not explaining is when you believe something, you tolerate whatever you believe you deserve. So it's not that you are calling in abusers. You have a sign that's saying abusers come to me, abusers come to me. Abusers see you, they test you. If you tolerate it, then they know this is someone I can play with. This is someone I can ill-treat. You need to have this attitude that if someone acts funny, your bags are already packed. By tomorrow sunrise, you're in Antarctica. You have to be gone. Because a lot of people, you know what they do? Like these abusers. They're banking on the fact that you won't leave, that you care more about familiarity, that being alone is daunting to you, so you won't up and leave. You need to reach a point and time in your life where being alone doesn't scare you. Being alone is just as comfortable as being around people who are loving, such that if someone disturbs your peace, you're willing to get up and leave. You're willing to go to a new place where you know nobody, new state, new city, new country, to protect your peace. People who are abusive, people who are toxic, look for this quality in a person. And if they spot that someone has this quality, they leave them alone. Someone who's so comfortable in their own presence, they will remove themselves from a toxic situation to go somewhere where they know nobody. When abusers know you're this type of person, they are careful with how they move around you. They are slower at showing you their teeth. They are slower at showing you their plan. When people are cocky with you about their toxicity, it's because they think you have your back against the wall. They think you won't leave because you care so much about keeping them in your life. They think you can't leave. And sometimes one of the reasons why they think you can't leave is you're emotionally attached. We're going to talk about that later. Turning off your love, turning off your emotions. You need to be ready to protect your peace and safety by removing yourself from situations where there are people who are ill-treating you, people who are showing you cruelty. You don't stick around for nonsense, cruelty, foolery, ill-treatment. You don't stick around. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what title that person has. It does not matter. You might need to plan. You might need to strategize. It might take time. You need to have so much grounding in yourself that you don't tolerate ill treatment for the sake of being around people. You need to be okay with removing yourself and going to places where you're by yourself and starting afresh to protect yourself from people who are evil. Because these people don't care about you. They don't care about how they're impacting you. They can see you getting sick because of their cruelty. They can see you getting sick because of the environment they're creating. Toxicity doesn't just affect you emotionally and psychologically. People who are in toxic environments get sick, like really sick. Cancer, autoimmune diseases. You need to be careful. You need to be so committed to removing toxicity in your environment that you're comfortable being alone for a period in order for you to create that peace and that safety. There's no point in being around so many people, being able to say, oh, let's go to the mall, let's do this. If those people are also ill-treating you, there's no point in doing that. There's no benefit to that, because the more abusers you have in your life, the more abusers are drawn to you. I'm always saying this. Abusers can sniff when you have other abusers in your life. They can see it. Especially men. Men are very good at spotting people that have abusers in their life. Call it animal instinct, vulnerability searching, whatever it is, they can see it. If you're a woman, you need to be careful. You have to be careful with tolerating people who are toxic. They impact your life in so many areas that you don't even realize. You deserve peace and safety. You deserve peace and safety. You have to take control of that. No one's going to do it for you. People are not going to do right by you. If they're parents who endanger their children, what more someone who's not a parent to you? What more a stranger? What more a friend who you're not even related to? And even people you're related to, you can't trust them. You can't trust them. At the end of the day, people can be snakes. They can be snakes. On this topic of snakes and reptiles, every time I've had someone who was extremely toxic in my life, there was a time when they were speaking and their pupil shape-shifted and they had those reptilian slits. I've heard a lot of people talk about how your eyes can shape shift based on whatever energy you have in your body. Let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced this, where you're talking to like a covert narcissist, a psychopathic person, and the pupil turns into a slit, like a crocodile. That stuff, people shape shift in this world. Shape shift for real. Let's talk about moving in silence. When you move in silence, you need to move in silence as one. Let me give you this analogy. I am not saying commit crimes. I am not insinuating that I commit crimes. But if you've watched movies and criminals are doing whatever they're doing, they have an operation, everything's going well, and then they get caught. There's always one person who breaks and tells the whole plan. When you are doing something big, something that should be top secret, something that will change your life and the lives of people around you, something that will put you on the map, you need to move in silence as one. People are not going to be as committed about moving in silence as you are, especially if it's information that's not about them. So if you remember in my video, 4 friends you shouldn't have in your inner circle, you shouldn't friend, I mentioned that people who don't have personal information boundaries are a liability. They can put you in harm's way. They can share information with a saboteur, knowingly or unknowingly. So if you are moving in silence, don't move in silence in packs. Move in silence as one. You can tell people once it's done. You can tell people once you finish what you're doing. And you even realize that when you tell people, some people won't even be happy for you. So it's good that you didn't tell them. Okay, let's... The next thing I want to share, I want to lighten up the mood a little bit. And so raise your hand in the comments if you're one of those people that if you're listening to something you really love, like a song, it feels like something is dancing on your eardrums. For me, it's music that has raving sounds or sounds that sound like a car's raving. And I feel like someone is twerking on my eardrum. If that part is like in the beginning or the middle, I keep rewinding the song. I rewind the song, like I only listen to the first 20 seconds of the song and I keep rewinding it. Am I the only one who does this? If you do this, let me know in the comments. I hope I'm not crazy. It's okay if I'm crazy. It's okay. What people think doesn't matter. And let's make this the next topic. So, people are allowed to have whatever thoughts they want to have. You need to be okay with letting people think what they want to think, whether it's true or not. You need to understand that most of the times you don't really have a true picture of what people think of you. People mask. They don't show you what they think of you most of the time. So when you later on find out, oh, this person thinks this negative thing, sometimes they've thought that negative thing this whole time and you just didn't know about it. You just didn't know about it. You need to understand that what people think is their business. It's not your business. And people perceive others through their own reality. So if someone sees the worst in you when you haven't done anything to them, you haven't hurt them, you haven't hurt anyone, it's because that's what they are doing. People are quick to assume things about you when there's no evidence, no signs of you ever having done those things. Those people are showing you who they are. So if, let's say, you're sharing an experience you had and they immediately think you're faking it, they're telling you that they fake when they share their experiences. You need to separate yourself from other people's thoughts. Other people's thoughts tell you about the person who's speaking, who's sharing their thoughts. If someone judges you and there's no evidence, they're actually telling you how they are. So you really shouldn't care. And here's something that could help you to desensitize yourself. Start a rumor. Say something, it doesn't have to be bad. Say something random to someone. And hear what people say when it comes back to you. It will be twisted, changed. Some people will make it into a negative thing if it was a neutral thing that you shared. And you understand that all of these twists and changes are just a reflection of the people that have been passing the rumor around. That can actually tell you about the way those people think. Opinions are opinions. You need to remember that when someone shares an opinion, they may have had that opinion this whole time. They were smiling at you, talking to you, spending time with you, carrying that opinion. You didn't die during that time. You didn't know the opinion, you didn't die. They had the opinion when you didn't know about it. They still have the opinion when you find out about it. Your life continues. Opinions are opinions. The only opinion that should matter is yours. People can share their feedback, and if it's founded in truth and there's evidence, you can listen to it. But if it's just random people saying whatever they think to you, ignore. Focus on yourself. And this brings me to another topic. So when it comes to receiving feedback, you need to be careful of people that are quick to criticize you, but they can never name one thing you're doing well. You need to be careful of such people. If someone comes to you with feedback, but they're not supporting you, they don't comment when you do something well, their positive criticism means nothing. You can't trust it. You can't trust criticism from someone who can't name one thing that you're doing right. The assumption is that you're not a toxic person. Because if you're a toxic person and an abusive person, you're obviously abusing people. I'm talking to normal, healthy people. You should never listen to criticism coming from people who don't understand the situation you're in, who also can't name one thing you're doing well, or haven't named one thing you're doing well. This is actually an easy way to spot an op. A friend who can only give you criticism. Let's say you're a content creator. They don't like a single picture. They don't like a single video. They don't tell you what you're doing right. But now they want to come and tell you, oh, you should do this, you should do that. That's an op. That's a frenemy. Don't listen to people that can't tell you one thing you're doing right. In life, we are playing a power game, whether you know or not. And here are a few things you can do so that you're not a pawn in other people's stories. You need to be non-reactive. These are my non-reactive glasses. Once I have them on, you can't make me react. You can say something and I won't react. That's how you need to be. Just because you feel an emotion doesn't mean you act on it. Here's something that I do that helps with not being reactive when you're feeling emotions. When you start feeling, let's say, sadness, and you can tell, oh, I'm sad, this is saddening me. This is what I say to myself in my head. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel sad. What that does is it acknowledges the emotion and it emphasizes that the emotion is to be felt. Note, I didn't say it's okay to act sad or it's okay to act on the sadness. It's okay to act out some emotions or like feel them and like let them affect your mood. It's fine as long as you're not harming yourself and other people. And as long as you're also not making yourself vulnerable to manipulation. Whether you like it or not, people around you, when they can see your emotions on you, they can try and play with them if you're in the presence of someone who's toxic. And you don't know when they're in the presence of someone who's toxic until they do something toxic. You need to be someone who can control your emotions. You need to be someone who can feel the emotions and not act on them so that you can think straight. People can't play with you if you're not reactive. If you're someone who's observant, you actually notice that when a manipulative person is trying to figure out what your buttons are, they will start with backhanded compliments, slight insults to see, do you react quickly? Do you catch on to insults? If you're upset, how do you react? They are watching you. It's not a mistake. So when you don't react, when people can't read you, they'll stay away from you because they just don't know what type of reaction they would get when you do decide to react. Don't react. Train yourself not to react. If you have to bite your tongue, squeeze your thumb, close your eyes, do whatever you need to do. Emotions can be used to manipulate you. Emotions can be used to set you up as well. Okay, moving on to the next topic. Have you heard people on these red pill podcasts saying, men have to learn the world doesn't care about you, the world doesn't care about your problems, you have to come to terms with that? That's actually true of everyone. It's not just men. The only difference is when women have problems, people who stand to benefit from helping you or showing you they care will show you they care. So when men say no one cares about you, no one cares about you, and they say maybe your mom cares about you, that is true of women too. It's just that among women, people are faking that they care. They're faking that they want to hear what happened to you as you're venting, and then they go and gossip about it. So this is why being non-reactive is also helpful. When you're someone who's non-reactive, you also don't have this urge to just share what's going on around you, to just share what's going on in your life. You discern before you share. And when I say people don't care about you, right, I'm not trying to make you feel all doomed or negative about the world. No. There's definitely people who care about you. But you need to understand that people do things, most times people do things that benefit them. Okay, so I saved the best topic for last, and that is learning to switch off your love. I'm always saying this. Never love someone to your detriment. There's no nobility in you loving someone who's abusing you. There is no benefit. You don't get brownie points for loving someone who's abusing you. The moment someone treats you funny, that should turn you off. That should give you an ick. You shouldn't love people who are harming you. You should be able to switch it off. And this ties into controlling your emotions, not being reactive. If someone is abusing you, that is time for you to turn off whatever behaviors come out of you as a result of loving that person. A lot of people like to say, People who can turn their love off have an avoidant attachment style. Yes, people with an avoidant attachment style can turn their love off, but they do it for a different reason. When you're getting too close, they don't like it. When they feel suffocated, they turn it off. I am talking about self-preservation. I am talking about protecting your peace and your safety, not self-betraying and self-sacrificing. Don't love people to your detriment. You have to turn your love off as quick as they drop their mask. If someone was showing you love and it turns out to be a mask, they start abusing you. It should turn you off immediately. When you truly believe that you deserve peace and safety and you deserve to be loved in a healthy way, the moment someone does something weird, that should trigger a negative reaction in you. You shouldn't be explaining weird behavior away. This is why you need to control your emotions, because if you control them, if someone's acting funny, whatever love you feel for them, you're not going to use that to gaslight yourself. Your peace and your safety comes first. It's more important than whatever benefits you think you can get from a romantic situation. You need to understand that abusers look for people who believe in love to the extent that they will allow someone to hurt them. They actually look for this quality. They look for people who believe love endures all. They look for people who won't leave when they're being harmed. Abusers search for people like this. If you don't learn to control your emotions, if you don't change your understanding of love and romantic relationships, you will become an abuser's type. You will be an abuser's type. And you wonder, why do I keep running into abusers? They are picking you. They are picking you because you have this belief that you love people who are ill-treating you. You need to turn your love off. You need to understand something. When you spend time around someone and certain things happen, your brain releases chemicals that are a reaction to its understanding of what's going on. And these chemicals is what you then feel as love. Your feelings are chemicals that have been induced by that person's behavior. When abusers behave in a way that makes another person fall in love with them, they know what they're doing. It's not natural. They're inducing it in you. You need to understand that when people switch up, the person they are showing you after they switch up is who they are. Whatever you felt for what they were showing you before they switched up is fiction. It's fiction. It's a fairy tale. That stuff, it's very similar to just having a crush and having fantasies in your head of someone who's not real. That's what it is. Because that person is not real. They created a fake image. This is why you should turn your love off when people act funny. Because they caused you to fall in love with a cartoon, a character that does not exist. So if you can crush on someone and stop liking them, what's stopping you from turning your love off with this abuser that you're with? Nothing's stopping you. Because the person you fell in love with is not real. The person in front of you is the real person. And if you don't like the way they're treating you, they don't deserve your love. Never love people to your detriment. Turn that love off. The moment someone switches up on you, turn it off. Turn it off before it turns into an actual trauma bond. Abusers, even when they're treating you well, there will be signs. They will do some weird stuff. that is the time for you to turn your love off. You can even, if you're not sure if the behavior you're seeing is toxic, still turn your love off. An abuser will react negatively when they feel like they can't affect you anymore, when they feel like you're pulling away. And that will show you whether they're really an abuser or not, whether that weird behavior you saw is a warning. If you made it to the end of this video, good job for caring about your life and doing better. I'm just going to recap some of the things I shared. The first one being, you do deserve peace. You do deserve safety. You need to be comfortable being alone, and you need to be comfortable walking away from toxic situations. If you're going to move in silence as one. People are not as committed to keeping other people's information to themselves. The next one is, don't care about other people's opinions. They probably had that opinion before you found out about it, and you didn't die. What's going to kill you now? The only difference is you now know the opinion. Always, always remember, don't put your safety and your peace in other people's hands. People always choose their own convenience. So if their convenience and your safety are not in alignment, they're going to betray you. You need to protect yourself like your own bodyguard. This is the only life you have. You're not going to get it back once you've lost it. You need to put your safety first and your peace first. We are in a power structure, whether you believe it or not. So you need to learn the things that you can use to protect yourself. You don't want to be a pawn in other people's stories. That's why peace and safety is the motto of this community. My name is Chido. I'm your personal emotional intelligence detective, always keeping it real. Subscribe for more real talk. You won't regret it.